Hi guys, Rich Kid Retro here. So this is sort of like my first video. I'm going to try and do my next couple of videos in the games room. There's not much room in it. So it's really hard to get like a wall behind me because I literally can't put the chair anywhere. Yeah, I'm doing this the only morning. I'm literally just woken up, so I thought I'd do this before I go to before I go to work. So all this is car boot pickups. Once again, an eventful weekend. I took up my normal car boot money. Was it Friday or Saturday night? One of the two. Let's put that game back. Yeah, I was obviously see if what the weather was like. Got up the normal car boot time, and the weather was so-so. Do you think, oh, do I go? Do I not go? So I thought, you know, sod it. May as well go up there. Went to play Fargal. For some reason, that car boot wasn't on. So normally, as you drive in, you can gauge like how busy the car boot's going to be by just like looking at the car park and like everyone like driving in. But I looked over, the car park was empty. I couldn't see any cars queuing up. I'm like, what's going on? And you can see, and then I looked on the other side of the road, and the cars that obviously they're about to sell out the car boots, and all full going past me. So I drove in, spoke to the guy, and he said that yeah, that Plymouth Argyle wasn't on, and Peacock Meadow wasn't on either at Plimpton because of waterlogged pitch. So the only place was St George, which is I guess yeah, just outside of Plymouth. I mentioned I've been to it a few times before. Sometimes I nip to that one if the other ones are sort of like, yeah, if Plymouth Argyle's rubbish, I nip to that one. And that's the one where everyone like just stands in a line and they shout go, and you just run like a crazy person. So it normally starts at quarter to 8, but obviously, yeah, the Plymouth Argyle car boot wasn't on. So I got there at like 7:15, and there's actually me and 3 other people, and there's probably about 5 lines of cars. And I'm like, so I pretended like to start the walk around. I thought, oh, the stewards are down there, so I pretended to walk around like, but then like, but they're only allowed to put stuff on their table, just like Peacock Meadow. Yeah, about 8:15. So I go, oh, this is absolutely pointless. And yeah, so I stood there waiting, and I'm like, dude, let us in, let them set up, let us in. It's going to be really busy. There's going to be more cars coming in. The weather's looking pretty bad. You know, it could be raining in half an hour time. Trying to convince this woman was like, no. And before I know it, there's literally like 3 or 4 of us, and then 10 minutes later, 10 of us. Before you know it, you know, 7:30, 100 of us. I'm like looking, thinking, this is ridiculous. I could have went around and bought everything by now. And all my mates are like coming in, loving, all right, mate, how you doing? Like Paul, I was like, oh, where do we go? You know, where do we go? Do I go down there? Do I start in this aisle? Do I start in that aisle? Because my OCD tells me you have to sort of like start at the beginning and work my way down. Even though that could be mostly the traders, apart from maybe R1. And mate goes, oh, I need to go down this one, I need to go down that one. Yeah, so I was like, oh. It was just one of those ones, it's just like, so lucky which R you go down. So yeah, so we stood there, and yeah, it was supposed to be, like I said, what, 8:30? No, sorry. Not 8:30, what, 7:45? Or no, 8:15? No, 7:45 it's supposed to start. 8:30 is the Peacock Meadow one. And it was probably about 22. And you could just tell that there's obviously more cars coming to sale, more people are like turning up, and yeah, probably about 22. Everyone else was in the cars. No, obviously the car boot starts at 8:15. Got out, another 100 people. You know, fucking it's ridiculous. I'm there like ranting to myself, like, let us in. I've been here for an hour. I could have been done and dusted by now. Got everything. But yeah, and then she said go, just ran. Oh no, everyone started setting up the tables probably about, what, 7:30 or so. So I'm like pacing up and down, like, where everyone's standing, like, looking down the aisle, thinking, oh, I must be able to see a Super Nintendo, must be able to see this, must be able to see that. But no, so I just started from the beginning. And yeah, so I just did my normal power walk and having a quick look. Yeah, it was like really hard the whole car boot. Lots of Wii and DS games, but it's just the trash ones. But luckily, first person I came to had some PlayStation games. Okay, I think most of these came from the person, so yeah, I had to play lots of PlayStation games. I looked through how much of these. They're like, oh, £3. I'm like, £3? Picked up a few. He's like, how much you want to really pay? I'm like, well, I really want to pay £1 really. He's like, oh, £2. So I think I got this lot for 15 quid. And I might have got one or two of these from like another place, but I think these were all from this guy. And yeah, and then a couple others. And that was it. So yeah, I think... yeah, one or two of these might be from someone else that I got for £1. But yeah, he also, yeah, so he had games in a row. Yeah, I got, it was 15 quid. Because I wanted, yeah, it was 50. I only want to pay £1 each. I wanted £2. I think it was like £15 and like £16 with an extra item, which I'll show you in a minute. So it's Prince of Persia. Hopefully you can see the fucking bright lights, or the windows. Prince of Persia. This is the trilogy. It's complete, but it's missing. Well, not saying complete. It's missing the Two Thrones manual. But I'll tell you another story in a minute. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. So I think, yeah, I'll put that to the side. Spyro Enter the Dragon. Mortal Kombat Armageddon. As always, when I sort of wait for the next card boot, I scan these into Amazon and sort of gauge the prices of them. And if I like, obviously swap up the conditions, inlay the CDs, and then the booklets and that, and then I obviously sell or trade on. So every time I go to the card boot, I always take like a certain amount of cash with me, and I try and get that back within like the next week. So I'll put them on Amazon, eBay, or sell on the game sites. I get my money back at the end of the week, and then rinse and repeat. I use that sort of the same money every other week to go to the card boot. So Drakengard, which is awesome, Square Enix game. Yeah, so I looked up on Amazon. I think that was about a 10 quid game. Yeah, £10–12 game. Star Wars Battlefront Platinum, but if I remember correctly, it's got just like the normal version, the Black Label version, disc and manual. They all seem to sell really well. So yeah, so they're all £6 or £7. So Sonic Heroes, I don't know why I got that one. Incomplete. And it's worth about a penny. Metal Gear Solid or Snake Eater. Yeah, complete. Discs are really in good condition. I checked them when I was in the car. That's just a cheap game I always find. It's always substance. I always buy that one every single time. I think, oh fuck it, it's substance. Another Gauntlet. Gauntlet 7 Sorrows. So I'm not sure if it's anything to do with Gauntlet Legends. But it's got the name, so... and it's online multiplayer action. 2005. Maximo, awesome game. Absolutely amazing. Resident Evil Outbreak File 2. So yeah, a few weeks ago I went into a game shop and they had this for like 15 quid in there. I'm like, what, 15 quid? I think Amazon's about £10–12 now, but yeah, so it seems to be, people seem to be like, yeah, selling it quite expensive, so every time I try and see one, I always pick it up. And I don't think I've actually played much, I've played lots of Outbreak, but maybe not Outbreak File 2. I remember you just had different characters, you went through the same scenarios, they can unlock different doors, depending what order you did them in. So yeah. Really good actually. Silent Hill 4, The Room. Another game that seems to be selling for like £10 plus. So yeah, random. So glad I got that in the collection, complete. By then I think I was all, yeah, I was all, what do you call it? The Ultimate Survival Kit. Everything you need. I was all Silent Hill out by then. So what's this? 2005, 2006? Oh no, 2004. Yeah, so I don't remember playing that one much, but that's probably, I've got two little piles here, one of the play pile. And Resident Evil 4 Limited Edition, so it's another £6–7 game. So yeah, I can sell one or two of these games, get my money back. Most of these will probably actually go on my convention table, so I'm running up, yeah, I'm selling soon. At yeah, one of the video game markets. So like I said, I'll try and get my money back, like selling some of this stuff I'm about to show you today. And yeah. And then use that money for next week. And then rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. yeah, so I picked up that lot of running around again. I didn't see anyone else pick up much. There's loads of like Wii stuff. I did look at like Wii games and some consoles. I just saw some Wii games and something like that. Like looked at the games and carried on. But later on, my mate was walking around some GameCube controllers. He said, "Oh, there was a Wii bundle right on like he sort of just around there." I'm thinking, shit. I think I just looked at the games, but I didn't actually look at the console. So there's one thing I guess you need to look at is if you do see a Wii and some games, just always check because there can always be GameCube controllers because he bought the GameCube controllers for like what £1 I think he said, £1 each. So there was a black and a purple one. So if actually looked in the box properly, I guess I would have picked them up. But I literally just looked at the games and thought, you know, there's no sort of none of the usual suspects you want to sort of like get for the collection that I want. But I didn't really look at the sort of the console and the other box really. So I was like, oh, I was too busy thinking I need to do another 4 hours. Yeah, carried on looking around. But Tomb Raider Chronicles. This was from a dealer, but it's got no disc. But I've got a disc because I've got loads of discs, and it was 20p. So for 20p for a case, which is in good condition for a start, and I've got the game as well. So yeah, well happy. I was like, oh, do you have any more like 20p PS1 games? Because I'll buy as many as possible if they're 20p. He's like, nah, he hasn't got any more. Because yeah, the case is in good condition. It's worth it just for the case. Oh yeah, with that, obviously with that bundle it was £15 plus an extra, I think it was like £1 or £2. I got a pink PS2 controller. I surprisingly see these quite often. I pick up 4 or 5 of these a year. So yeah, I see these more than say like the silver ones on their own. So there's always just like a random pink controller here or a random pink controller there. So yeah, happy to get another one in the collection. I've got like 2 pink like PS2s. So I think one of them is just a normal box. The other one I think it was just, I don't know, SingStar. I don't know, some kind of bundle. If I could see it over there, but yeah, SingStar Pop. So I think I actually filled them up with the controllers now, but yeah, it's good to have some extra controllers. Yeah, carried on walking around. There just wasn't much there. It's really weird. Like I said, obviously there's no like Peacock Meadow, no Argyle, but this one was massive. So it's like, you know, it's 10 times the amount of cards there normally is at this car boot. But there just wasn't anything. I guess it was good. It was all in one place because it would have went to basically 3 car boots and probably, you know, got this amount, and it would have been like pointless driving around. A few people got some more games which I've already got. There was one guy, every time I got there, he's like, oh, he just looked at the PlayStation games, but it was just mainly like, yeah, mainly like the Tomb Raider and stuff like that. So yeah, there was down one of the aisles, I'm thinking, oh, that looks like a Wii, that looks like a Wii, and but it wasn't a Wii, but it was the same table. They had PS2 games. I think that's where I got like 2 or 3 of them from actually. Yeah, I think I got 2 or 3 those 2 or 3 of those PS2 games from this lady. But yeah, he had obviously he had Clash of the Titans. He had loads of Crash games, but I got there just literally 10 seconds too late. Some guy was already looking for it. Like took them. I'm like, no. There was a couple of PlayStations, but they wanted £20 each. PS2s, £20 each. Absolutely destroyed. You know, you're like, oh, do they work? Yeah, they work. Yeah. I'm like, where's the power lead? Oh, we might have left it at home. I'm like, no thanks. Walking around again, a couple of DS games like Mario Kart DS. I think it was like 15 quid, but then when it back later on, it was like 10 quid. I'm like, no thanks. It was £3 or £4. I would have got it. Yeah, there seem to be lots of like random PC games. I'm like, oh, I love the like I said, if you can see some of my Amiga games up here, I just love like the box art and stuff like that. I love to collect PC games as well, some of the older ones. But yeah, there's one game I couldn't like. I paid £1 for. I think he wanted £2. I said £1. He's like, yeah. And now Star Wars Supremacy. I can imagine it's like a Command and Conquer style, but in the Star Wars universe. So it's 1994. And yeah, it looks absolutely garbage. But yeah, I'll put it in I think the CD, hopefully. Yeah, I'll put it in the laptop, see if it works. Did the usual, got any games, got any this, got any that, and all day you're like, oh, got any games? They're like, nah, we haven't got any games. And then 2 minutes later they're like, box of games. You're like, oh, look through them all thinking, what the hell? So I always say, yeah, you got any like, yeah, So you got any games? Got any board games? Got any video games? I'll sort of just say now like, oh, got any Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, PS1, PS2 games, or any Nintendo or Sega games. Because everyone else was asking for video games, but they sort of get the same answer. I don't know if the sellers were sort of fobbing our ass off, but because they were just going, got any video games, they probably think there's just 360, PS4, or PS3 games. They're like, oh no, I haven't got any games. And then you go back later, like, oh, there's PS2 games. Oh, these kind of games. They're like, yeah, they're video games, aren't they? And you're like, no. So if you're like car boots, I know it's like, yeah, I guess there's people sort of a bit young, sometimes a bit younger than us actually. Obviously got kids who never really were into the retro scene, you could say, or into the 90s gaming, were more into obviously the PS2, the PS3. They sort of all, you know, PS3 came out, what, 10, 11 years ago? Same with the Wii. So they're sort of like, their kids are now like 10 years old as well. Well, not as well, but 10 years old. So they've got all the DS, the Wii games, so it's very rare if they get PS1 or PS2 games, but just keep on asking, and you slowly might get some stuff. This guy came out, there's another guy who seems to be buying some games, but he just seems to be buying every single DVD. Every single DVD that was 50p at the car boot. Every single CD, 50p. So yeah, I don't want to collect DVDs, but yeah, at the bottom of this sort of DVD box, obviously this guy was like looking through. I was like, I just did normal, just look over his shoulder just to ignore him. I'm like, what's in there? Just in case there's a PS2 game. And I saw this sort of like, yeah, I saw this down there and I thought, oh, I don't really need that. And then I went back to the car, what, 20 minutes later? And then I just saw this on the table. So it's Super Thunder Blade manual. Yeah, 50p. This was just on the table. I was thinking, oh, I remember seeing another one, but yeah, you got any more manuals? And he goes, oh, I got this one as well. So this was at the bottom. Yeah, the guy must have bought all the DVDs, and he just had the box, and these were just at the bottom. So Tomb Raider, yeah, Tomb Raider 2, starring Lara Croft. Who else is going to be starring? And that was 50p as well. I said, you got any more? And he goes, oh, I got these two. Okay, how much you want for them? You can have them. This was the one I originally sort of saw at the bottom, and it's a Mega Drive, sort of like the EA 92, 93 little catalogue. You know, I've got a few of these, obviously, amongst the Mega Drive games. But also this came with a, you know, Game Boy little manual that you get in the consoles. So I think I'm actually one short in my collection. So well random to get that. So happy to just chuck that in there. That's one bag done. Yeah, and that was it really. Walked around, no one else seemed to have some stuff, so there's always seemed enough for all of us really. Obviously sometimes, you know, enough for the traders, enough for sort of the collectors, enough for sort of me, sort of like trading / collector as well. Yeah, so I was thinking, great, because that car boot was like 7:45, by 8:45, the car boot's done. So yeah, normally it's about 9:45 and I go into the next car boot extra. So I'm like, great, I've got an hour. So I started to drive home. I thought, oh, what do I do? Pulled over, and I think I did a quick video with my GoPro actually of some of these PS2 games with me just scanning them on Amazon. So far I'll load that up soon. I drove over the bridge and I thought, oh, solid, I'm going to go extra, aren't I? So got some money out at the cash machine. I was hoping to get some food, but there wasn't any fucking food, so I was like, great. So then turned around and I paid to go literally over the bridge for like 2 minutes, and then back over the bridge. That cost me $150. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Thinking, why did I do that? I should have just like turned around when I pulled over. If I just turned around, I could save myself $150, and then went to this other car boot, and there's some cash machines along the way. I thought, great, why did I do that? Because I was just umming and ahhing about going. So instead of doing 70 miles an hour all the way there, I literally did 50 miles an hour. I think I put cruise control on and just did 50 miles an hour all the way there. Yeah, picked up some cash, picked up my usual drink, sandwich and a cake. I don't do the meal deals because I always have a ham sandwich which is like £1. Like a Sprite is like $1.25, and I always get like a cake for like 50p, so it comes under £3 anyway. So I got there quite early. Yeah, the Exeter car boot. I got there. Normally get there about 10:15. This time I got there like, was it 10 to 10? So I had a little 25-minute power nap. And then I woke up, there's obviously everyone like, yeah, everyone's coming in to buy, sell. So I got out of the car, queued up as always, paid £7 to get in. Yeah, it was really hard work to begin with. And because of the weather, it put quite a lot of people off, it looked like. So the queue wasn't that long, probably about 15 cars came in and sort of stopped. So normally, if it's that early, there's the biggest queue ever. It takes for the cars forever to get in. But yeah, after the first like 45 minutes, there was only like 15 cars, but then loads of cars started coming in. Loads of them. I need to create some space. So the first game I saw was this one. This guy, yeah, he came out, he had some... Got any, I think someone else asked, got any games? He's like, nah, I got no games. And then he bought out a box of DVDs, and lo and behold, PS2 games in the box. So I'm literally like standing over it, looking at some guy who just asked for games. I'm like, mate, you can have a look. I did sort of have a quick look scan, because it just wasn't anything I really wanted, apart from one. Yeah, anyway, yeah, the box came out. Yeah, it's gas for some video games. The guy said no, he bought a box of DVD out, there's some PS2 games in there, so I just like looked in there, and sort of looked at him, he was sort of like thinking, oh, about 10 seconds before I asked for video games. I was like, mate, yeah, come have a look. So he came over, had a look, picked out a couple of games he wanted. There's only one game I wanted, and that was Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. So this was £1, or I might actually paid 50p for it, actually. I think it might have been 50p. He's like, they're £1, would you take 50p? He's like, oh yeah. So I think I got it for 50p actually. Yeah, so now I can take out the manual and put it in my other version. That I got down here, and hopefully that is complete. I forgot where I put it now. It was just here. Oh yeah, there. So I'm not sure if there's any difference between them on the back. Cool. So I'd rather have this one complete and pay 50p for the manual. And this one I know I can trade in for the same price I got it for, 50p. Because that was my plan. Yeah, I knew there was a plan. Yeah, so I carried on walking around. There's loads of extra people buying it now. There's loads of us. There must have been like 15, 16 like people after games and all stuff like that. This car boot, and there's about 15 cars. I'm like, fuck's sake. I'm like, fucking kill me. Why did I drive all this way? It's fucking garbage. Every car beat, I'm like, when I'm queuing up, thinking, today I want to get some, you know, the other day, this time I'm going to get a Mega Drive, or I always say, Mega Drive and a Panasonic Q. I'm always like, oh, this week an N64 and a Panasonic Q. And lo and behold, I've got the Mega Drive one week on the N64. I even said, oh, this week it's going to be Super Nintendo, and everyone's in the queues like laughing, yeah, mate, you won't find it. I did actually find one. I thought, awesome. It works, by the way, 10 quid for Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and just the console unit only. I've got some cables, and the only thing I need, I guess, is it's like a power pack for it. I got one of these like unofficial power packs, but it's just for some reason it's got like, I don't know, it powers it, and then there's another one which like goes into, yeah, it's like 4 connectors at the end, which is really stupid. But I can go down to the local, I guess, a discount store for £3. I can pick up like a power cable, because you look on eBay, put Super Nintendo Power. These aren't unofficial ones, but they're 8 or 9 quid. So you find the official name of them, you can just go to your local store and get them for 3 or 4 quid. So much cheaper, and they do the same job. Just check the voltage. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, or today? Yeah, today or tomorrow. Anyway, yeah, so on this one, I want some board games. I'm like, oh, I haven't really picked up some old classic board games for a while. And this girl was walking around. I think her boyfriend is actually, she's quite nice. I was like, oh, yeah, you're quite fit. Well, there's a boyfriend. Was one of the collectors as well. I was like, God damn it. Because I'm like, oh, what do you collect? And she goes, oh, I collect vintage stuff. I'm like, vintage what? And she wouldn't tell me what vintage. I collect vintage stuff. I'm like, what? Vintage board games? Vintage? I'm like, what do you mean vintage stuff? But she would tell me. But she was hot to talk to. Anyway. Yeah, so I was like, I want a board game. She goes, oh, yeah. She goes, I picked up Hero Quest. And I'm not sure it was recently, but she said, oh, I picked up Hero Quest once. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind picking up old Hero Quest, stuff like that. But yeah, I just saw this in the car when somebody pulled up, and I thought, I'm not going to spend anything today here, because I've been there, what, 45 minutes or an hour. This is going to be absolutely garbage. So I thought, I may as well pick this up. So I may as well say, yeah, how much is this? She goes, oh, it's £10. It's got some stands. And I thought, well, I don't have one in my collection, so I might just keep it for myself. And I saw Stan Collymore on the front, and it's a Subbuteo set, and it was 10 quid, I think it was. Came with a couple of stands. They don't really look in good condition or anything. And a grandstander, you would call it, I guess. Plus 25 spectators. Surprisingly, I don't actually own a Subbuteo, so yeah, £10 for the game and grandstand, as you can see. So yeah, that's how I'm over to trade on with, I guess, my little collectible mates, or to keep myself. So yeah, check if it's complete and all that jazz. So yeah, so they had that. Yeah, I was asking if, you know, they got any more video games. No, not video games, any board games. He goes, yeah, we got some old games. A few people looking at the back of the car. I literally just saw this to the side of it, out the back, and I think someone was asking for, I think there might be some like green boxes, so they look like 360 games. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, can I look at those board games in there? And these were £2 each, and it was Key to the Kingdom. Oh, fuck it. This is a really funny game. I had it as a kid and absolutely loved it. Maybe because of this, and now obviously you're older, it's complete, and now you're older, you realise, you know, you could have been a bit more intelligent, and yeah, it's a really trolling game. So basically, you're racing just to find, obviously, yeah, the keys, and then when you do have the key, you sort of have to go back to the start. Sometimes you might be on the other side. There's two boards. Like the board flips over. And obviously, and if you're about to win, I know every time the board flips over, everyone's got like, I think it's like 1 turn or 2 turns to get into the whirlpool, to make sure you go into the other world. But when you're about to win, you need like 3 or 4 turns to get from the whirlpool to the end to win. So all the other players do is just stand by the whirlpool, and when the guys try to win, they just like, oh, we jump in the whirlpool. And then you have to get back to the whirlpool before it changes to the other side of the board, or else something like you die or something stupid like that. And you're thinking, this is fucking bullshit, and you're never going to win because the person's about to win. You think, well, I might just keep on, if you've got trolling mates, we might just keep on jumping in and out of the whirlpool, and it's just a never-ending game. It's fucking ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But as kids, we fucking loved it. We never had that intelligence to do that. But now we're older, and we're having to troll each other. You think, oh great, he's chip leader. We just all keep on jumping in the whirlpool and keep on going on the other side, and then yeah, it's really annoying. So yeah, so everyone keeps on jumping in the whirlpool, go to the other like side of the map, and then they try and quickly go and do their own little tasks. By the time the other guys come back, I think you die. I think you miss a couple of turns if you remember, or something like that. I'm not. Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, I remember thinking the last time we just called it, thinking this is bullshit. We're just gonna keep on doing this because there is some guy in our group who's just trolling us for like this is garbage. But yeah, it's all complete and in good condition actually. So a bit better condition than my one. Some of it, so I will be yeah, trading out the pieces, and this is UK Games Expo fodder. So I remember saying it over the last 3 or 4 years going to UK Games Expo, I've always taken 1 or 2 of these and put what, either £10 or £15 on there. But it might be one of the games that's gone up to 20 quid, or it might still be £10 or £15. But for 2 quid, it's worth it. Change out the pieces as always, and yeah, save it for them. And people will just buy it for nostalgia reasons, really. Yeah, she said 2 quid, and I realised it had like £1 stickers on it. I'm like, oh, bollocks. And the next one was this Joker, Crystal Maze. I did have a copy of Crystal Maze, but I think the box was battered, so I think I actually sold that on. But this one is in really good condition, actually. And yeah, hopefully it's complete. Hopefully it's complete. So I sold the other one. I don't think my other one was complete. Was missing a few things, but yeah, I wish I kept that one just in case this one isn't complete. But yeah, happy to get this in there. Oh, it's just as bad setting this one up as bloody Mousetrap, man. Fuck my life. It is painful. 1993. But yeah, look at the size of the box. She looks like she's having so much fun. I think we played it actually. It was quite a funny game. Quite a funny game. Yeah, yeah. Carrying on walking around again. Not much. There wasn't much, so it was well funny. It was all obviously the collectors and traders. We all sort of know each other, so we're all there like walking around moaning and that. And there's like good like 6 or 7 of them in a row, just going thinking, what are we all doing here? And I looked at the car, I'm like, oh, can I look at that Super Nintendo, please? And I looked at them, and they all just looked at me like, and they knew I was joking. And then through the whole of the afternoon, they're like, mate, there's a stand down there. We're just doing this because it was just so shit, absolutely shit. It was painful. Probably about 4 different cars. I'm like, got any video games? Yeah, we got any video games. Just let us unpack and come back in half an hour time or 45 minutes. Because sometimes it's like, if the car boot's supposed to start at like, what, 1, half 1? But we get there at 11. So we get there early, pay the £7 you normally pay for a table and getting there early. So we're normally done by half 12. Yeah, so they sort of think, oh, it starts at that time, we get there early. But then obviously everyone's just buying. So you sort of have to politely, obviously, when they open the boot and that, and you know, got any video games at all? I normally just say, sorry about this, but do you have any video games and that? And sometimes it does pay off, sometimes it doesn't. Or they say, oh, come back in half an hour, you keep them back for us. But the time you do come back in half an hour, they've already got them on the table, and like people buying stuff, you're like, oh, why? So yeah, but you know, the retro goddess, she gives, she takes, and all that jazz. Yeah, so one lady, I said, oh, you got any video games? Got any PS2, PS1, or Super Nintendo games, or anything like that? She goes, oh, we've got a PS2, let us set up, come back. And I'm like, okay, come back. And I must have walked past, she goes, it's in a black bag. She goes, we've got something in a black bag. So I must have probably walked 4 or 5 times, obviously, looking for other stuff. And I saw her bring it out of the black bag. And she literally goes, oh, here you go, a black bag of PS2's in here. And she started pulling out the games. And I'm like, oh, that's not a PS2, it's a PSP. And she goes, oh yeah, sorry, it's a PSP. And how much you want for it? And she's like, £10. I'm like, cool. I just saw the games. Yeah, she goes, we've got the console, £10. So yeah, so I got this for £10. So I got a PSP. It's very sort of rare. I've seen them pick up more Super Nintendos and Mega Drives like car boots than they do PSPs. Looks like the little button's gone there. But, you know, an easy fix. No charger, but I've got multiple chargers. I think I've got 3 extra PSP controllers, chargers. And yeah, so I've got Midnight Club Dub Edition. Need to find room for this now. Virtual Tennis World Tour. But there's all these trash games, which I don't mind. Cars. Pilot Academy, which looks really cool. Rising Star Games. One game actually I haven't seen before, but looks absolutely awesome. Was the first game I looked at was Activision Hits Remix. So it looks like 40 classic Atari games, Atari 2600 games. Pitfall, Kaboom, Brainstorm, Chopper, Commander, River Raids, Atlantis, Fish and Derby, and it looks really cool. So I'm like, oh, I literally can't wait to get this one on the go on the PSP. Even though there was one like this, so yeah, happy. I can imagine it's just a £2 like game, but I haven't seen it for £10. Brilliant. And got the charger, so I'm going to sell this PSP, get my money back, easy. Plus some more. I thought if I could sell the PSP, get my petrol money for the day, get money back just for the original purchase and these games from my collection. So happy. Yeah, so that was it, that car boot. So I'm like, oh, fucking, this is rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. It was quite overcast. There's still more cars coming in. Yeah, like I said, really hard as always. But there is another car boot down the road in Ivy Bridge, and that starts at like 1 o'clock. Is it 1 or half 1? I can't remember. I think it's 1 o'clock it starts. Is that 1? Yeah, 1 or half 1. Anyway, so yeah, from this, it only takes, if you do like 70 miles an hour plus 10, it only takes like, what, 22 minutes to get there? So at 12:10, I thought, sod it. Yeah, this car boot's done. Yeah, been here since 11, not the best, not more cars coming in. Still more cars were coming in when I was sort of when leaving, but it's only like 1 or 2, and you sort of quickly look in there. And the extra car boot as well. When it gets to 12:30, you're not allowed out, because obviously the normal general public, they all start parking, and the parking and the road in there is like a nightmare. So between between 12:30 and like 1:30, we basically get locked in the car boot. You know, if someone jumped over the hedge the other day and then came back, and obviously he got banned because he just jumped on the hedge and tried and leave early because of this. The traffic's just so nightmare. So I thought, sod it, so I'm not being stuck here again. So left. So yeah, about 12:10, walked out before the gate closed. Drove out. Not many people coming in buying. Not many people coming in selling. Yeah, so I drove to this car boot. I could see in the distance, obviously, all the cars going in. I went there last week, and it was just an absolute nightmare. Parking wise, I must have spent like 15 minutes just trying to park. So I thought, sorry, I turned down to like a residential estate, and yeah, just literally just went right like that, and then just parked to the left straight away. I was the only car there. Yeah, so started walking towards the car boot. There's these 2 guys with the massive green rucksacks, and you always get a car boot. They always have these, like, I don't know, army rucksacks. They're like, they're not going to let you in, mate. And I'm like, okay. I go, I'm just going to walk in. I thought, sorry, I'm just going to walk in. So I normally do my usual, let's put my headphones on, but there's, but I never listen to any music. So it's always a good trick, just put my headphones on. And you have like the Plants guy on the right, and like the burger bar. And there's about 8 or 9 people standing there. And I didn't see a steward or anything, so I just carried on following the cars, looking like this with my headphones on. I can hear one of the stewards just go, "Oh, that guy's walking around." But he didn't actually say like, "Oh, you're not supposed to walk around." He said, "Oh, that guy's walking around," and then carried on like ushering the cars around. I'm like thinking, okay, carried on walking, carried on looking at the cars. And they had like it's normally on some rugby pitch or whatever, some grass, but that was all must have been waterlogged, so they had it all actually in the car park. So good job I didn't go up to there, because I would have got turned around and parked where I was in the first place. And then like a bottom little car park as well. So I sort of did the top car park as soon as possible, because I thought these are all the traders. So I'm like looking around, and I thought if I get down the bottom car boot, that's where all the sort of mainly private sellers are. I thought if I get down there, obviously they're not going to sort of kick me up the car boot or anything, or say you're not supposed to be in there. So yeah, so I went down there. Cars were coming in as always. Wasn't much really. Wasn't much at all. So I picked up these board games for £1 each. And it is Wolverton's Spy Ring, the international spy game. So any old board games, I'm picking them up for UK Games Expo. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going crazy with them. So it looks really old. 1978 Wolverton's. Anti-Monopoly? Never heard of it. Yeah, you know, Ghetto Monopoly. 2005, so I'm not sure. An update of the Monopoly folk game invented by Elizabeth, wherever she is, 100 years ago. A twist right out of today's headlines. Free market competitors clash with ruthless monopolising. I don't know. You charge fair rent, you build on any street, you create supply and demand. You can end a price war. Yeah, random. So I'll probably go there, be able to sell it to the Monopoly collectors. One game which I looked fucking cool. Hopefully it's all slowly bits falling out, as you can see. And that is The Wall. A game of espionage and intrigue. The 2 superpowers of the world meet in one city. One thing keeps them apart. The Wall. Look at the size of this fucker. Box is absolutely battered. To commemorate the 25th anniversary of the Berlin Wall. For some reason, I read that as in like the end of the Berlin Wall, but I guess it's such an old game, 1986. I guess it means since it was built. So yeah, this is there's nothing on eBay in the UK at all. I think there was one that hasn't sold for like 80 quid or something stupid. It went 80 quid and he's trying to sell it for 70 quid. And we looked on the board game website, there doesn't seem to be much information on there. So I think it's an actual American game, but it says made in Birmingham. Or Birmingham, England. So yeah, this is one of the games where I literally never see it ever. So hopefully it's complete. Bits keep on falling out of my bag and just full of random bits of it. Random tokens. But yeah, interesting game. So I'll be trying to play that fucker as soon as possible. Yeah, and because obviously I was stuck down the bottom, this is like me, I guess a couple of the traders that was selling. So we sort of had a free reign, I guess, down there, so that was good. But there wasn't much at all. I missed out, I guess, some books with like little Lego men, a little bit of Lego, like I think it was like a Lego car or like a Star Wars Speed, and this little kid, he must have been like 4 or 5 of them. Every time I was like going to the car, he had a fucking Lego book in his hand, like, yeah, that bastard. But to be honest, I'm not interested in them. It would have been good, but yeah, I was like thinking, I never really picked any of them up, really. It would have been good to have a big Lego set and stuff. Yeah, so it was hard. Yeah, there wasn't much down there, and then must have got about, what, 1:05. Wow, the hordes of people. The hordes of people. I'm thinking, fuck me, where's everyone come from? But obviously they're the ones they're not supposed to let them in. So like, some of the guys who were fucking the exit car were like, mate, what are you doing down here? I'm like, well, I just walked in. They're like, we've been stuck up there for half an hour. They got there like 5 minutes after me. They go, we've been stuck up there for half an hour, and they were then racing down. It's just so like a stampede, like zombies are coming towards me. It's just fucking funny. I'm there laughing. But yeah, so yeah, and then I thought, oh, I may as well check up the top. Because I was stuck down the bottom, I was like, oh, I missed out on a few things on the top. I guess the big Star Wars figure, they're normally on a little black box. I'm not sure if you join them together, they all go like that. So there was a Darth Vader one, there was a Maul one. I keep on missing out, and every time I do see like a trader selling them, they're like 10 quid, but this woman got them for like £1 each. I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. And then all the new cards, because the bottom bit was filled in. Once again, at Car Boots, these stewards were up. There wasn't any stewards down there, so you got someone parking up. They've got like 3 car lengths to the right, 3 car lengths to the left, and then they've got like 1 table in the middle, and they like take up like 6 car lengths. You're like, oh, you can fit another 3 or 4 cars down here. Ridiculous. So in the end, they sort of put them up the top. So I'm like, oh, I wanted to go up there, but I didn't want to obviously get told you're not meant to be in the car boot. So I missed out on some of the new cars at the top. So yeah, when everyone was like walking down the bottom, I'm the only mug, I'm the only salmon walking back up because everyone had looked up there. So I missed out on a few things. And I saw these guys on the floor. Yeah, I asked a little kid how much they want, and he's like, "They're my daddies." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And his dad said, "Oh, I want £3 each for them." I'm like, "Oh, fuck my life." And yeah, well, they had the normal like row, and then it went like that, and they had the usual selling, okay, I guess, I don't know, like duvet covers. So, and then some other seller, and then right in the corner, well, I think it was actually on the edge actually, was just a private seller. So these guys are on the floor. And it's some wrestling figures, and he wanted £3 each for them. And in the end, I paid 20 quid for them. And yeah, I keep seeing the car boots like 1 or 2 and think, oh, I can't be bothered to pick them up. But oh mate, I don't know half of them. I can't even remember the fucking names. Okay, he's Sergeant Slaughter. It's Typhoon. Got Undertaker. He's fucking awesome, mate. And I should know. Oh, I do have Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. I didn't think I had Hulk Hogan. Ooh. I'm not sure this guy works or not. The Honky Tonk Man. Okay, one of the nasty boys, but I can't remember the names. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. I should know some of these, but I literally don't. Rowdy Roddy Piper. Oh what a rush! Legion of Doom. These are actually, I just realised they're fucking cool. They're really cool. What does this one do? Stick his head out. I'm not sure what that is. So, I can't remember him. There's loads of them. There's loads of them, I can't even remember. So these two guys. That might be Mr. Perfect? I'm not quite sure. Oh, I should know him. Oh, but I can't remember because they don't look. Some of them don't look like nothing like him. Okay, I need to watch fucking WrestleMania like 4 or 5, man. That's what I need to do. I don't think his arms work. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. They've got 22 figures for 20 quid. I'm sure at one point he said there was 18 of them, so I got he probably thought he sold 18 for 20 quid. Oh, okay. Look at this guy, he's like, just down in his face like crazy, man. Okay, the big boss man, I know him. I don't have the Ultimate Warrior, fuck my life. Literally crying. Is that Ted DiBiase? Or the $1 Million Man? What do I say? Oh, I need the IRS guy. He looks like Jake the Snake. I think that's Macho Man. As his pants said, Macho King. 991. And a random, yeah, foot soldier from Tails. So he's joined the Royal Rumble. Oh, I'm so happy to get the Nasty Boys. I don't have the British Bulldog. I literally just want to go on eBay and just fucking go crazy. There's a shopping list card that sells them actually. He sells them for £3 each actually. So I might fucking get. I'm gonna go in there actually. I'm gonna go in there this afternoon and fucking go crazy and buy them. And that was it. I've got some more stuff, sorry. Yeah, down the bottom, there was 2 kids. Yeah, got any video games? No. I'm like, oh. And then they bring out, yeah, you have to remember, got any video games or consoles, and consoles. So these kids came along, they said they had video games, and in a box they had a DS. Would have had a DS. How much for that? They said £5. And then the other kid had a DS as well. So that was £5. They only had 1 power supply. So that was 10 quid. And they had some games. So there's Burnout, Cars, Wally, and Scooby-Doo Unmasked. So I tried to get them for a tenner, but they were like, the kid was like, yeah, yeah, and the mum was like, no, we want £12. I'm like, oh, yeah, fair enough. I'm happy to pick them up for 12 quid. Yeah, and that was it. Yeah, that was down the bottom bit. I got the wrestling figures up the top bit, and yeah, a couple more cards were coming in. And there's a guy who looked like a trader, but how much are your DVDs? He's like, oh, £1 or £2 for the big ones. So I thought, sod it, let's get, you know, let's get Blu-ray collection edition of Lion King. So it's Lion King 1, 2, and 3. And this sells on eBay for about 10 quid. But I just realised, like, the games, even though they say not for sale individually, but I think I can peel that off. I can sell them for like £5 or £6 each. So that's what I'm going to do. I might actually keep them for myself, actually. I don't know. The first Lion King's awesome. The rest of them were absolutely garbage. Yeah, so it looks like my memory's full, but I'm going to carry on telling another story, so I'll see how far I get. So, yeah, thanks for liking, thanks for sharing and all that jazz, and thanks for commenting. yeah, I'm still not getting the emails through, so they must be going into my like, what's it called, spam box. So yeah, thanks for liking, thanks for commenting. I really do appreciate it.